You go to see Sweet Micky, you get your money's worth. And he starts to play at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock he's playing. He's on stage until 6 in the morning. You'll get tired before he does.
You don't fight, I play for you until 6 in the morning. So as I was saying before, this is a type of situation where you have to know when to make a decision. So what do you want to do?
Do you like Sweet Micky? Of course I do. That's why I'm here standing out in this cold and freezing my butt off for him.
You imagine the most fucking fun that you could have, and this guy, he has it.
Haiti's a small country and I'm in charge. I'm a bad guy, you better believe it, and you're about to find out. Sweet Micky is the devil. I'm the devil. Right, boo-boo? There is no such thing as do you think you're cute. It's either you're cute or you're not. I don't think I'm cute. I am cute. Point blank.
Never get involved in politics because there is the two things, music and politics doesn't match whatsoever.
If you were to run for president, would you vote for him?
Maybe.
Micky, are you for real? Let's see.
I have both respect and hate.
I'm raw.
Mademoiselle and ça c'est deuxième Chanel ouais. And jodi nous allons parler de President Michel Martelly, aka Sweet Micky. Now y'all, this video has been long awaited and honestly, I had to do a lot of research for this one and this one gave me a fucking headache. This is literally going to be a lot, so grab your tea, grab your snacks, grab everything you need because this video is going to be a lot because Haiti had the nerve, the gall, the audacity to go elect a pop star for president. This is legitimate, the original Trump, okay? Can nothing touch this nigga. Y'all thought Trump was bad. Y'all thought Trump, y'all tripping. Sweet Micky was the original Trump because we about to unpack a lot right here. I'm gonna be right here. Now, let me just start off by saying I am a die-hard Sweet Micky fan, okay? And sac pas content, en baquet. I love me some Sweet Micky, okay? And it was to the point where when he came here, I was one of the first people to buy the goddamn ticket, okay? He came to Jersey. I was so fucking happy. This was outside when they pitchforks. I was one of the first ones like, hello, fuck out of here. Y'all tripping. Listen, y'all can hate him all y'all want. I got y'all problematic phrase. Y'all want to listen to Chris Brown? Oh, all right. Y'all still listen to Tory Lanez? Oh, all right. Y'all still step in the name of love. Oh, all right. Fuck out of here. But at the same time, I'm not a biased bitch. I may love the man's music, but I'm not about to sit up here and be like, he's a great president. Because Jesus Christ, definitely not. By any means, anywhere near one of the best presidents Haiti's ever had. Now, with everything that I'm telling you, you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck? Why the hell would Haiti go and nominate a damn pop star for president? Well, did we not forget that the earthquake happened in 2010 Haiti had a very, very catastrophic earthquake in 2010, and Sweet Micky ended up being president in 2011. So as you guys can tell, perfect fucking timing for that shitty ass mistake. It's 2021 and they are still feeling the effects of that earthquake. They have not been able to fully recover. And for the most part, personally, I feel like it was one of those things where they just want to change, right? So on this channel, I've covered from DUVALIER to president. You guys are probably wondering if I'm going to do the current president, which is what, Jovenel or whatever. Listen, I actually want to take a visit to Haiti pretty soon. And you know Haiti has a history of killing journalists. I'm not about to talk my shit about that nigga till he's out, bruh. Y'all tripping, okay? I'ma save that shit till he's gone. So after this, we gonna go all the way back to day one, okay? To Jean-Jacques Dessalines and shit. We gonna go all the way over there because y'all tripping. You think I'm about to talk my shit about him while he's still in office and I go to Haiti and then my head get cut off. Y'all wildin'. So anyways, I feel like a lot of Haitians are very, very hopeless, especially since, if you guys do not remember, in my PREVAL video, which you guys have to really go watch in order to kind of understand what's going on in this video, people were very fucking fed up with PREVAL. Even though personally, I don't think PREVAL was that bad, but it was just the wrong time for the man to be president. PREVAL was just very, very quiet. He was very, very reserved, very to himself. And to be quite honest with you, he was one of those presidents that like to do things behind the scenes. He wasn't a show off. He wasn't all mouth. He wasn't all talk. He wasn't all grandiose. So essentially, a lot of people took that as weakness and inaction. They took it as, he don't do shit. He's just a puppet. He's stealing money. Rah, 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 rah. And then the earthquake happened and he didn't say shit for mad long until later. Like, it just did not look good. So we're coming off of a president that looked like he wasn't doing shit, but he was doing shit. But for most people, he didn't look like he was doing shit. To now we have like a showboat president that has his own money, and it doesn't look like he would steal money because he has his own money, and he's a pop star and we already love him, so he wouldn't betray us because we already love him. So like, this should be a good idea. And it's like, man, we need some change, because at that point he's not a politician. And I feel like that's the same situation that happened with Trump, right? I feel like a lot of people in America were thinking, he's not a politician. He's not someone where we would have to worry about because he's not necessarily they. You know, he's not them. He's a person. He's a regular person. Even though he did run Republican, right? He's not necessarily an opposing type of factor. He's a regular person with his own money. And since he's a businessman, since he has his own money, since he's this, that, and the third, he most likely will give a different perspective that we probably would never have thought of. And I think it's the same perspective here that Haiti had. They were probably like, okay, this is going to be great, because like, what's the worst that can happen? He can't steal money from us. There's no point of that because he has his own money. He's this, he's that. Like, they really were thinking he's already loved. We love him so much. He would never betray us. He's not a nobody coming into a position of power. He's somebody and everybody already knows him. But woo, child, this shit was a hot ass fucking mess, bro. A hot ass fucking mess. So let me just start off from the beginning. Of course, after our beloved Rene Preval, rest in peace, we have Michel Joseph Martelly, aka Sweet Micky, from March 2011 to February 2016. Now, of course, many of us know Sweet Micky as an artist. He actually did his full term before being asked to step down, and we're going to get into that later. Honestly, we're gonna say Mickey, Sweet Micky, because whatever. So let me just say this right now. I called him Mickey, Sweet Micky throughout this entire video because Michel Martelly or Michel was just way too long, to be quite honest with you. And I know a lot of people like to be like, oh, well, you know, he can't be compared to Trump because, you know, he knew how to switch it off and blah, blah, blah. Let me just tell you this right now. He still was doing a whole bunch of very questionable shit throughout his entire presidency. The only difference between him and most people is that he had a very good PR team that did a good job of hiding all of this shit. But from talking shit about the Lavalas party and the Bal Bannann Nan song that he literally released about a female journalist, let's be real, that's not really tasteful as a president. And the fact that we had a first lady and a very, very capable candidate running, and you guys chose this man that y'all know damn well was nowhere near qualified as a candidate. Y'all not about to go and try to act like he was the most qualified. We're not about to save our ass with that. We're just not. Like, we're not. I love him too. I understand. But we had 10 times more qualified candidates that was not out here absente bêtises no mizik yo, fucking running around naked, wearing skirts, shaking their dicks and twerking at any chance they got in their stuff. 2 candidates that did not have such a crazy past doing a whole bunch of digga. We're not about to act like he was the best candidate and he just all of a sudden became this all around amazing, better person and just changed overnight as soon as he started running for president. That's not what happened. So we're not about to do that. At the end of the day, it ain't no damn persona. Because for me, I'm the Mademoiselle and I'm Ivana. And if I were to run for something, whatever the case may be, I'm still going to be Ivana. My nickname is Shorty. I'm going to be Ivana the Mademoiselle Shorty, period. Everywhere the fuck I go. So y'all can miss me with all of that. Now, what's very, very interesting about Sweet Micky is that a lot of people don't really talk about where he came from. So let's just get into that. Sweet Micky's father's name was Gerald Martelly, and he was a Shell Oil executive, and his mom's name was Mary Madeleine Martelly. From all the presidents that I've done, I think I've done about 5, Sweet Micky was bad as hell in school. Like, just bad as shit. He came from a privileged background, but didn't seem to really care too much for that. And if you guys are not putting 2 and 2 together, this was during the whole DUVALIER regime. And he's a Shell Oil executive. Put 2 and 2 together, he's technically part of the elite class. And, you know, if you see pictures of Martelly, he's also light-skinned. So, light-skinned, Shell Oil executive. Cha-ching, cha-ching, motherfucker. Like, listen, he was honestly not struggling by any means in terms of the other people in Haiti, if you catch my drift. But he didn't really care too much about that privilege for the most part, and he was fucking shit up, okay? He spent a lot of his time getting kicked out of school, like literally left and right. He literally went to at least 3 to 4 different schools before he finally graduated high school. He was just dizzled, bruh. He was bad. He had a bad attitude. He was always going off on the teachers, picking fights with students. He was the class clown. Listen, he had a lot going on. For the most part, that definitely traveled through his career, and we see that translate throughout his music, his persona, and of course, his presidency. Of course, not long after that, he ended up attending the Haitian Military Academy, where of course he got kicked out because he allegedly impregnated the Attorney General's goddaughter. I just can't. He later moved to the United States, where I believe he was in Florida at one point, but then I saw Colorado, went to a few community colleges, worked a couple of jobs, which were in construction, as well as at one point he worked at a grocery store, and he actually did get married. Couldn't find any information on who this woman was, but sis, show your face. I want to know who you are. But anyways, he did get married, ended up getting divorced. Anyways, he was living his little life over there, but I guess it really wasn't working out for him. But eventually he did come back to Haiti, and that is where he started his very, very successful Haitian music career. He ended up joining a band, which was one of his friends' bands. This is where his music career started, where he actually taught himself how to sing and play the piano, which is insane because now this makes me feel like a lazy fuck. You know how long I've been trying to learn how to play an instrument, but not trying to learn how to play an instrument because my dumb ass be having so much damn free time and I have not bought this instrument. I have a whole guitar sitting in my parents' house, and I don't do shit. Here's Sweet Micky teaching himself how to play piano with me. Yo, niggas be making me feel lazy, bruh. This is what they say when they mean immigrants really be working hard, bruh. They really be getting shit done. Because I'm like, what? He taught himself how to sing and play the piano, bruh. Tripping, bruh. Even better, he ended up being so good and so entertaining that he landed his own gig in Pétionville at a bar. Now, if you guys are not aware, Pétionville is a very, very prestige part of Haiti. It's one of the upscale neighborhoods. And to land a gig in an upscale neighborhood in Pétionville is a pretty damn big deal. So that's how good he ended up being. Not long after that, people were really starting to like him and really starting to really see who he was. They were liking his personality, they were liking his persona, and he just was really good. And essentially by 1988, he dropped one of his most famous hits, Ooh La La, Ooh La La. I love that song. This catapulted him to instant compa fame. And at this point, he became one of the very, very influential king and godfathers, whatever you want to say, of compa. His music at this point was playing from New York to Haiti. Everyone loved Sweet Micky. And it wasn't only because his music was good, it was because his personality was just off the motherfucking wall. And when I'm saying off the wall, I'm not talking about just boisterous and lively. I'm talking about off the chain. Like, oh no, is this legal?
I want the world to know that I'm a man, but I'm a man with no dick. Check me out.
Sweet Micky became very popular not only for his vulgarity, his very, very boisterous personality, but his outrageous outfits, his outbursts, his music in terms of like singling people out and dragging them. Like, he was just very, very out there. And you know, when you talk about people being like out there and living their truth and just like doing whatever the fuck they want, Sweet Micky, definitely one of those people that comes to mind. I'm talking about wearing a pink wig, wearing a diaper to Canaval, coming naked, stripping on stage, coming in drag makeup. Love it or hate it, it made an impact. And for the most part, a lot of people were very, very 50-50 about Sweet Micky. A lot of people loved him because he really did not give a fuck. And that's honestly where I am with it. I love people who don't give a fuck. I may not like you as a person. I will always love and admire people and respect people who live their truth and say what's on their mind no matter what. And no matter who's watching, who's listening, or whatever it is that other people may think about them. I love people like that no matter who it is, okay? It doesn't matter how I may personally feel about the person, I will always respect people for that. That's just me as a person. And to be honest, I just love his music. I love his personality, I love his music. And honestly, it's just so refreshing to see someone who just doesn't give a fuck. Because if you guys are not aware, the Haitian culture is just very prude. They're very, very reserved, and they're very, very polished for the most part. Haiti may be seen as like the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, but for the most part, they're very, very like polished. They're very, very reserved. They're not ones to have their culture all willy-nilly. And for the most part, when it comes to people representing them and people being the face of something, they want them to be the best foot forward. And when you have someone like Sweet Micky who has all this influence and all this power, not even with the music, because like I said, his dad is a fucking Shell Oil executive, and then he's light-skinned on top of that. The only reason I'm putting that in there is because being light-skinned in Haiti is actually a very, 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 very high source of power, okay, believe it or not. Colorism in Haiti is very, very serious. It's actually more serious in Haiti than it is in America. It's actually something that is like a very, very high social structure that I did talk about in a couple of other videos that you guys can go check out. And then on top of that, you have your own money because you make really good music. So it's like, why not use your power to do something better than wearing wigs and wearing diapers and coming on stage naked? Like, why don't you be more diplomatic? Why don't you be less vulgar? Why don't you be less whatever the fuck you're doing? Why? Like, why are you doing all this bitties in your music? So a lot of people were very, very conflicted. There are a lot of people that liked him because he was himself and he didn't care. And there are a lot of people who were just like, you're making us look bad. You're making Haiti look bad. You have so much power. Do more positive with it instead of making us look bad. And to be honest, I get both sides of the coin. But of course, like I said, I like Sweet Micky, so whatever. He continued to be who he was and did not care about what anyone had to say about it. And of course came the release of his very popular and still influential album and song today, I Don't Care.
Who have the right to critique me. I'm talking about the one who come to my parties or who buy my album and my CDs. I came to the point where I started wearing a skirt, and then people went like, oh, now he's gay, you know, he's gay. Before I started wearing the skirt, I knew they were gonna say that I'm gay. But do I care about what people think? Do I care? I don't care.
Everybody watching this video most likely knows that song as well as that album. That album touched so many people, and to this day, even Americans I know that song. I don't care, I don't give a damn. I don't give a shit. Listen, Sweet Micky was the type of artist, anytime someone would talk shit about him, throw dirt on his name, be upset, be mad, he would just make a song about it, release it, and be like, yup, that's what the fuck I think about what the fuck you said. He was that type of person. And for the most part, people thought that was the most funniest shit ever. Reporter said something about him, he was like, oh, what? You said, oh, here's that song for you, bitch. He was that type of person. Turned my problems into a paycheck type of person. I Don't Care came out in 1994, and like I said, it was a very massive hit. Not only was the album a hit, but the song was one of the biggest hits ever. But let's circle it back a little bit. 1987, he actually met his wife, and her name is Sophia Saint Remy, and she's from Gonai. She birthed up some more musicians. Now, if you guys are not aware, Sweet Micky also has kids who are also musicians. I don't think all of them are musicians. I believe like 2 or 3 of them are. I think 3. And those kids are Michel Olivier, Michel Alexandre, Michel Yanni, Malika, and I believe there's just a Michelle. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, this is alleged, they say that he has some secret kids out there, but listen, alleged, those are the official ones. And I love Yanni's music. I love Olivier's music. Sometimes you can see his kids actually playing for him if Sweet Micky does pop up. Like sometimes he will pop up and do concerts and do balls and stuff like that. And what's very interesting is he is very, very much a perfectionist when it comes to his music. I've seen it in action. Like, listen, y'all, I went to go see Sweet Micky, and I think, was it Olivier or Yanni? It was one of them. They was playing keyboard for him. You guys are Haitian. You've been to a bala. Bala is essentially like a live concert. And usually the band does a check. And usually a check is just like a live song, but it's not like really a song. It's just like a song to make sure all the equipment is playing, but it's not like really a song. It's like a practice song. And even that, if it don't sound good, like he's stopping all of that shit. And he just like, what? One of his sons was playing the keyboard, that he was making little mistakes here and there. What? He started going off. He was like, Tonnerre! Play my klavye! I was like, oh my God, like, yo, that shit hurt. Like, perfectionist. He don't play, okay? He does not play. Mind you, that was his kid. I said, damn, how do you come at the regular people that's not your kids, bro? Like, tripping. Sophia actually became his manager back then, not his manager now. And Sophia became his management powerhouse. You hear me? He was the act, she was the brains, and brought in the bread hunty, okay?
I'm Sophia, I'm Michel's wife for the past 10 years.
Wait. How did you get to marry me? Because people are looking for me outside.
$15
yeah, make sure you tell them that.
So who's really in charge?
I am.
He's the boss.
I am.
He seems to be the boss.
Who are you?
I'm the one who paid $15 10 years ago to marry you.
She paid $15. I wouldn't marry her if I had to pay.
Do you regret it now?
Today, no. Not today, right now, as I'm talking, but sometimes, yes.
What do you mean?
He does fool around a lot.
Oh, I fool a lot around? Yeah. But okay, now tell me, how do you know about these things?
Because they always make sure I find out. They always leave traces for me to follow.
No, you hear things, you guess things, but you never caught me with anybody. You never caught me when talking to a woman, so you don't know. As far as you're concerned, I'm still faithful.
Let's change the subject.
To be honest, she was the brains behind all of this, and she didn't really care too much about what he was doing, even though a lot of it was extremely inappropriate. In terms of like, you wouldn't want your boyfriend doing any of that, because a lot of it was with girls as well. But honestly, it was bringing in the money, and a persona is a persona. It is what it is. Separate the art from the artist, I guess. But to be quite honest, like, it worked. They were traveling all over the place. Sweet Micky was touring all over the world, all over Haiti, all over America. And although they were doing all of this touring and all of this sightseeing and all of this music everywhere, they kind of felt a civic duty to give back to Haiti. They didn't really feel great about touring and, you know, seeing all of these poor people and like not doing anything about it, which is why they ended up starting a nonprofit. Now, this is something a lot of people don't really know about and a lot of people don't really talk about, because it's something that's Sweet Micky never really pushed to the public because, as he loved to say, Haiti's suffering is not for sale. Haiti is too rich to be poor. A lot of artists say this in their music. That's a line in J. Perry's song. It's one of those things where he didn't really want to like market, you know, Haiti being poor, you know, market his philanthropic work because it's like, for fucking what? And I feel like that's how it always should be. The whole idea of sitting there marketing poor people or marketing you feeding the poor or feeding the homeless has always been disturbingly disgusting to me. It's like, why do you have to fucking do that? But whatever, go off. The name of the foundation was called the Pink and White Foundation, FREB. They offered thousands of free meals, not only just to children, but to adults, and other services, educational services, housing services, just a lot of economic services to help people in Haiti. It was really, really great. It was very, very helpful to a lot of people that benefited from those services. Now, throughout the years, Micky was hinting in his music about being president. He would make references. He even had a song called President. But to be honest, a lot of people really overlooked it. And even at that, he always said that it was just a joke. It was one of those things where he was just like, you know, I was just talking shit. But eventually, this became a reality. But no one saw this shit coming. So in 2007, he actually retired and moved to Florida. But he just stopped paying the mortgage. Not on one, but all of his properties in the United States. Like literally, like all three. He had like 3 houses in the United States. I believe all of them were in Florida, I'm not sure. And he ended up just moving back to Haiti, and he just announced his candidacy. And during this time, he actually hired a PR team or some sort of media team to clean up his image so that he can run for president. And this was the same team that John McCain had. So for the most part, let's talk about who this man was against, right? Everyone really didn't take Micky running as serious. Everybody was like, all right, you're running for president, hee hee ha ha. Same thing with Trump. We were like, okay, nigga, a reality star, bitch, bye. And this is honestly not only because he was a pop star, but one of his main and most serious, very tough and US selected competitors was Jude Celestin. Now you guys are like, what the fuck, US selected? You know what? Let me just start off by saying I'm tired of America being in Haiti's business. I'm tired of America being in everyone's business, okay? But that's for a whole nother video. For the most part, yes, Haiti usually has United States involved in their elections, and America had selected Jude Celestin. And to be honest, I know I'm not tripping. I feel like this is not the first time I've talked about him. I feel like I've talked about him before, and he definitely ran for president another time, but he just doesn't seem to ever fucking win these elections, like ever, like. And he was also a chosen PREVAL successor already. Now we have former First Lady Marlene Manigat. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. We have a chosen successor and a US select. We have a former First Lady, and we have a fucking pop star. To be quite honest with you, it looked like a clear run. Like, everybody thought that Jude Celestin, or at least the First Lady, was gonna win. But y'all, this shit went completely left, like all the elections go. If you guys have watched all of my president videos, you guys already know how this shit goes, okay? First round of elections started, and Micky lost. He was the last one, and all of his protesters, all of his supporters went to the streets burning shit the fuck down, and they were mad as hell, and they demanded not only Micky be in the second run, but that they kick Jude off. Okay, they said, Mr. Celestin gotta go. You better take him off, or we are burning everything the fuck down. Listen, y'all, they were not doing this in regular towns. They were doing this like at the Capitol, okay? They were in Port-au-Prince, they were in Pétionville. Remember what I said? Pétionville is one of them upscale neighborhoods. You know, white people don't play. That's where the white people live. Affluent black people live. What? They literally put burning blockades at every entrance in Pétionville, in Port-au-Prince, and everywhere else, saying if you do not take Jude Celestin off of the ballots, not bullet tout bagay. We burning this shit up. We gonna burn this town tonight. Let me stop. That's not funny. It's not. But literally, that's really what happened. They said, we're not playing with y'all. Take that nigga off the ballot. And of course, because of all of the chaos that ensued, they did. And let's be real, the sexism in the world is serious. They were never about to let a girl win, especially not against nobody Sweet Micky. And she ultimately lost. And by a landslide, he won. And honestly, I was sitting there like, what in the... how the fuck To be honest, that is the most craziest bullshit I've ever seen in my life. But this is not the first time it's happened. I feel like this happens for every candidate that I've reviewed so far. This don't make no goddamn sense. This is not democracy. The whole point of America being in Haiti and most of these other countries' business in terms of elections is so that they can promote democracy. This is not democracy. People sitting there threatening to burn shit the fuck down if niggas don't take someone off a ballot is not no damn democracy. I understand you guys don't want people to burn shit down and kill people, but no! Like, Jesus fucking Christ. This happens all the goddamn time. I'm telling y'all, it happens all the time. Listen, y'all. Go check my other videos. I feel like it's always the same thing. It's like I could just skip the whole election process altogether because it's always the same story. And of course, no video that I do about a Haitian president is complete without voter fraud. And I believe there were people brought in to investigate and they did see that there was voter fraud. But at that point, it was too late, okay? It's too late. The nigga president, it is what it is.
And deaf, you know, I won't be around, so I don't really care about what they would say about me because I feel happy with myself. I've accomplished a lot, not just for me and my family, but for the community, for the Haitians. People should not remember me just as the bad guy who curses a lot, but also they should think about the other things that I came with.